Good morning, everyone. This is yet one more update in my saga of building a rep wrap printer. This is just going to be a short update. I'm not going to get into this in any depth today. I'm trying to avoid long videos because my upload times on the YouTube is, well, fantastic, to be honest with you. They are hours in length, the uploads. Although hopefully I will improve that shortly, because I have recently discovered how to compress my movies into a much smaller file sizes. I'm talking about from 4GB down to a few hundred megabyte. Now this camera on average takes about, well, I'm getting sidetracked here, but a typical 10-minute movie is over 500 megabytes. If you're about 20 minutes, you're well over the gig. So that's a significant upload, and I've resolved that now, so hopefully that will decrease the time I'm wasting uploading videos. Anyway, moving on. First update is I have finally fitted the bearing into the filament guide. This small part here guides the filament, as I've mentioned in previous posts, down into that small hole there. As you can see, the bolt has, can't quite do this, but there we go. The bolt has sort of fins or ridges cut into it. Now that's called hobbing, and that helps feed the filament down into the extruding chamber. So I had to get a little bit of this shaft cut. Now that's hardened and ground steel, and you know, that was better than the sort of the rough bar that they'd had used previously. So I've got a much smoother and I think better action on that bearing now. So hopefully that will maybe help improve any issues that may have been present there previously. So that just closes on there. Now, I don't like this whole I don't know, this whole apparatus just seems wrong to me. You know, that should be bushed or something. You know, the hinging action there is quite sort of, it's not very good, but once that's closed, hopefully it'll be fine. So anyway, moving on. The other thing I've done is I've replaced the standard spur gears with this herringbone gear set. So that action there is now a lot smoother excuse me, than the previous spur gears, which were quite, if you remember, uneven and rough. I did work on them a little bit, but I had these available, and I just needed to enlarge the hex on this part, and I had to adjust the there's a little recess inside the small gear here for holding a small M3 nut or thereabouts, and then this little grub screw screws into it. So I had to open up that plastic to allow the nut to fit. So I've done that now, and that fits, and it seems to be working quite well. I'm quite pleased with how smooth the operation of the two gears meshing together is. I'm a little concerned that's a little bit too tight. You know, I want to say I'm putting a lot of force, but I'm putting significant force on the gear there to turn it. But you know, I might be worrying about nothing. It's tight, but it's not jammed solid, So hopefully the motor's got plenty of power and that's not going to have any issue on the bearings or the motor itself. So that's ready to be refitted now. However, since I've started looking at these last few items, I've discovered that this hot end isn't necessarily, well, it's not unusable. I can certainly use it, okay, but it needs to be mounted in here somehow, okay. Now currently these little bolts, they protrude all the way through, and indeed protrude a little bit past these bearing brackets, enough to hinder the fitting of this bolt end, right? So they may need to be removed and cut back somewhat, or possibly replaced with shorter bolts. Even then, however, I have in the top of this purple plate here, this carriage, 6 holes, 3 on that side and 3 on this side, okay. I think this is so that you can fit different types of extruder. There's different designs available. I've messed around having fitted this one in the 3 different orientations that are, or the different orientations that are available, but none of them are perfect, okay. You know, they all seem to either catch on the belt, or hit some part of the system at some point. Now, I've only got these quite short M4 bolts or cap screws, and they're not long enough to penetrate all the way through the bottom of this bracket, through the carriage and into the bottom of the extruder down here. The extruder has 2 mounting holes which hold nuts, and the M4 cap screws need to be long enough to go through the whole apparatus and hold it all together. So I need to dig up a couple of M4 cap screws off, maybe 50mm long sort of thing. So I might do that today, because go down to town and see if there's anything local. Otherwise it's going to be back onto eBay, which is yet more delivery times. The other small issues I have is with the wiring of the extruder here. I'll say it here for the moment. We have the 2 power lines here with bullet connectors. I've got blue bullet connectors of the same size, but I don't have red. That's the female type for this to connect to, but I don't have red ones, which I would like to retain. So I'm going to have a look for some female connectors for these bullet connectors. And the other issue I've got is these 2 fine wires here. They are for the thermistor mounted down here in the aluminium block. Now, my understanding of it is that inside this area there's a small resistor which heats. It's a resistor that's designed to give off heat. So this heats up this whole block, and indeed then in turn heats up the nozzle here at the base. And this thermistor in here is basically a temperature sensor which goes back to your electronics board, allowing you to monitor and control the temperature or via these the amount of current passed through the resistor. So I need to but decide upon a method of lengthening these cables, because they've just been cut off and they're now too short, and I don't want to lose this thermistor. I'd like to carry on using it if possible, so I just need to solder on some cables and then maybe a bit more heat shrink. So that's got to be done as well. That's 10 minutes up, folks. This is what I'm skittering about with at the moment. Hope you've enjoyed the update, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.